caught you. Mother, I caught you. I got you. Okay. So, funny thing happened on the road to hell. Right? So, I literally just did a live, right? Maybe an hour ago. Not even an hour ago. Here's the thing. They throttled that live stream. They throttled it. If you go on my channel and go to the lives, it still shows 0 right now. And they capped the count at 22. But if you were in the live, right? If you were in the live, you would notice the number continually bounced up and down, up and down. I'm used to that. I can get uppity and people don't want to hear that, so they'll click off. I'll say something they don't like and they'll click off. So it constantly bounces, right? The longer that I'm on, it constantly bounces. But here's the funny thing, is I pay attention to that, right? So if you were in that live, you would have noticed it started out with 0. And it's usually on my end, if we're being honest. It usually stays at 0 until about 2 minutes in. Then people start coming in. Hey guys. So, like right now, it went from 0 to 3. Hi guys. So, in the last live stream, if you notice, it starts at 2. It then goes up to 6. Goes down to 4. Goes up to 9. And then it jumps from 9 to 22. And there was something in that live stream that I said that made them throttle it. They throttled it at 22. And then all of a sudden it dropped back down to 5. And it shot up to 34. And then it dropped back down to 22. And then it shot back up to 34 again. And it was constantly doing this. But if you go on the channel, it'll show 0 right now. And in my actual tracker on the YouTube Creator app, it'll show 22. There's something that I said in that live stream they don't want people listening to. Because why would you throttle it? I mean, if we do the math, I mean, let's say it's 50, 60, whatever. But we know the less views on something, the less likely we are to engage with it, regardless of whether the title is catchy or something catches your attention, right? So what was it that I said? Was it us versus them? No, I don't think so, because I've said that constantly over the last 2.5 years, and it's never gained a throttling. Was it what they're trying to do to us through control, through all means? Might be, but I don't think so. There was one thing that I've never talked about before, but I did randomly say it at the end, partially just out of frustration, I'm going to be honest. But in talking about the ways that they control us, that they get us to separate ourselves so we'll never come together to overthrow them. I've also talked about that before. So, but there is one thing. There is one thing that I went back to, and it's if you follow the path, if you connect the dots all the way back, I asked you, why do you question the people in power, but you don't question the one thing that's most powerful behind that? And I illustrated how how can I say this? Because I think this is why it got throttled. So, the Bank of the Big Cross. Let's see if that works. We'll see if it gets throttled. But they're behind everything. And I said the fact that you guys question the people in power, but you don't even question your own faith, and not in a sense of you don't believe enough, but in one of those ways that they control you, because it's proven Constantine created that church, right? And it was a way for him to gain immortality. He wanted his name remembered, and he controlled every aspect of how that bitch was created. And we're born into this system where it's thrown down our throats that we have to believe. Like, we're looked down on. We're shunned if we question everything else. We're shunned if we see the actual truth behind something, right? So most of those things in that live stream I've talked about several times. It was that one thing about who's behind the scenes funding everything. Everything. It has to be that. But lo and behold, I caught you, motherfucker. I see you. I see what you don't want people knowing. I see how you don't want them waking up. And you telling me I can't do something makes me want to do it more. So, game on, motherfucker. Game on.